Hi, I'm Tinny from MBDCult Design, and today I'm going to do a review on my choke hazard stove, MBDCult Design's smallest stove. So let me set the camera up and we'll take a look at this and see how it works, and I'll give you all the specifications on it. This is a choke hazard. I've placed it on a dollar bill for size perspective so you can see how large it is. And this is a Leatherman squirt jackknife for more perspective. Now, to operate this stove, relatively simple. You simply pull the top off. There's a hose inside. You take the hose and push in on it. It has an angle cut on it. You push in on it and twist it like this until the angle cut gets inside of the hole, so you have a seal all the way around. Do the same thing on the other end. Relatively easy thing to do. Then take the two ends and spin them on the hose until they both lay flat. And that's all the assembly. Now if you take the stove and put a pot stand over it and put your pot on, and then you take the reserve and keep it on something higher than the stove itself so gravity can take over. You put your alcohol in here, it'll run down the hose, which is clear, and into the stove. And as you fill this up, the stove will come to about half full, so you see alcohol just above the carbon felt wick, which is a piece of inside. The alcohol will all empty out of this. This won't have any alcohol in it because it'll always run down to the stove if you're working correctly. Then light the carbon felt wick, put your pot on your pot stand, and begin cooking. As the alcohol burns off in about 10 minutes, you'll see the flame start to burn orange. If you want to continue to cook, simply put more alcohol in here and it'll run right down, and you can continue to do that as long as you have alcohol. You can burn alcohol in this for hours without ever shutting it off to refill it. Now when you're done, you can pinch this hose, take the empty reserve off, hold this up, put this end in your fuel bottle and release it and empty the fuel back into your bottle. Then take this end out, put it back in where it originally came from, coil it up, then take the end of the hose and tuck it underneath the rim of the choke hazard, put the reserve back on, and you're done. Now this stove weighs, just a moment, I'll weigh it. I've got this set to grams. It weighs 16.3 grams, which is about a half an ounce. That's not enough to weight down anybody's pack, and it's not big enough to get in the way of anything that you'd ever pack. So there's really no reason not to carry one. Now, if your canister stove ever died on you, and you had a choke hazard and a little 4-ounce bottle of alcohol, you could continue cooking your dinner with no problem at all. So I think it's worth it to say that this is worth carrying with you just as a backup. Or if you're a gram weenie, and a lot of people do this, you can carry this as your primary stove. At a half an ounce, it's a gram weenie's dream. Okay, now let's look at my prototype. I'll set that up next. This is my newest prototype, the second one. This is the first in the original. I've made the rim wider, and I put a groove in it to lighten it up to make up for the wider rim. Now, some people have asked why I don't put a series of holes in the floor of this to save some weight. And my thought train on it is, if the silicone ever leaked or you accidentally overfilled it on some dark night, right now it would just pool in here and burn off and it would be fine. Whereas if I put a series of holes in it, which will probably save me less than 1/4 of an ounce, because this is a very thin bottom, then the alcohol could run down through, and if you're using it, say, inside of the tent, it could pose a problem. So for my personal use, I'm going to keep this bottom solid for safety reasons. It just is very comfortable to know that any problem you have will be caught in here and just burn off as heat with no problem at all. So I'm Tinny from MBDCult Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, don't feed the internet trolls, support the cult, please, and more important than anything, have a great day. Bye-bye.